Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 4 in this best of 5 series between Kay and Lawliet here on Secret Valley. It looks as though Lawliet has spawned as the yellow Night Elf player on the bottom left hand side of the map. Kay spawning as the blue human, switching things up. And what are we going to see from the players today? So far, we've seen Lawliet go for some interesting hero choices. He has not gone for the typical demon hunter as of yet. He's gone for a warden, he's gone for a panda, and he's gone for a fire lord as his opening hero. So I really don't know what to expect from Lawliet. Is he going to play it more straight up since he does not want to let this game go to a game 5? Right now the ball is in his court. The pressure is more on his opponent to try and not make mistakes. As long as Lawliet plays a solid game, he should be fine. Scout farm being built right off to the side over here. Gonna keep track of this expansion location. Not gonna do much of anything else though, except for, hey, I can see what exactly you're doing. What are you gonna do about it? Coming back around. Barracks is gonna be placed down. Also, Archmage already being trained up. Footman being added as well. And just a pretty standard opening so far. So far, we don't see anything out of the ordinary. I am surprised that, another farm being built off over here. As that one peasant now backs away, perhaps it's going to be doing a little bit of scouting, knowing that it could not aggro this Ancient of War fast enough, and all of those gnolls would just be pulled back anyways. The hero of choice is going to be a warden, so Lawliet preferring the warden this time around instead of the demon hunter. And now we see a second scout farm being placed down. 2 scout farms being placed down, meaning that all of a sudden Kay is going to have very, very good knowledge of what his opponent is doing at pretty much all times. The warden is actually, I guess, kind of wasting a bit of time attempting to take down this peasant. But this peasant is going to fall, give a little bit of experience. The scout farm is still going to be doing exactly that, doing a little bit of scouting as the water or the wisp here is going to disenchant. And did it give experience to this warden? All right, this warden looks like it will be getting to level 2 off of this 533 creep camp. But you also got to remember it had taken down a peasant earlier, so it would have gotten to level 2 anyways. But yes, it did get a little bit of extra experience taking out the water elemental. Manual of health is right there. All right, coming back around, that farm is still in position, going to be very easy to take down. Water elementals finishing off over here. Archmage now sitting at level 2 picks up, I believe, what was a manual of health, regenerating or having a little bit more hit points. Always nice on those glass cannon heroes just being able to completely fall apart. Archmage coming in. Water elemental is still doing a little bit of creeping. Warden, meanwhile, it looks like she's actually in the mood to try and hunt down some peasants. On the very far side of the map, this warden wants to get some damage onto some of these units here, and the warden is here now. There you go. Is it going to go out, come off, get a fan of knives, takes down the murloc, gonna take down the water elemental as well, gets an easy bit of experience, and now the warden is just running away again. Archmage gonna pick up boots of speed, already has picked up dust of appearance. Is he gonna pick up boots of speed? No, I mean, I guess Kay is a player who does not like boots of speed. Instead, picking up staff of teleportation. Where is it going to teleport to? Teleporting up to the rest of its army, and it is going to see all these militia coming down alongside this warden. So far, the creep camp has not been engaged yet. The warden gonna wake up the creeps, and here you go, wake up the creeps and then shadow meld to pull off the aggro. All right, that's going to be a little bit of bad news. The water elemental, oh, did it get the detonation off? I believe, I'm not 100% sure on that one there, as the warden is still engaging against the footman. The footman is very low on hit points. The warden still trying to back off here, and you can see a little bit more experience still being stolen. And are we going to perhaps see a fan of knives? Oh, does he pick up the item? Who has the item there? Circlet of Nobility. Archmage picks up the Ring of Regeneration. And this was a huge item, as all of a sudden the warden is in a very, very tough spot. All right, the warden does have blink, though. Is going to be able to blink back here and regroup up with the rest of his army. 10-second cooldown, preventing that warden from being able to freely move across the map. All right, still attacking. A little bit of glaive bounce there. All right, Archmage, warden still fighting. As you can see, the Warden is still backing off. There is a beautiful Fan of Knives taking down more of those peasants, as the Warden looks like it is a little bit worse for wear. Water Elemental going after that Huntress, and this is where you can see how effective those Water Elementals are against Huntresses. That piercing damage so much. Fan of Knives taking down a number of peasants. Wow, a lot of peasants falling right there. Not quite sure who won out on that. One Huntress or like I believe that was like about 4 peasants. Yeah, that was a good number of peasants. Only 2 peasants left, as there is an Ancient Protector off to the side. Lawliet with an Ancient Protector getting in some extra damage as well. This was just a little bit of insult to injury, as now there is another Huntress coming back in for more damage. Will be forced to back off, as that Arcane Tower is now operational. All right, still more bounce damage happening. Is it going to go after that peasant once again? That peasant needs one more shot. There it goes. It gets taken out, as this Huntress is going to be pulling away. Warden now back up to pretty much full hit points. Needs just a bit more experience to try to get to level 2 or level 3 and level 2 Fan of Knives. Level 2 Fan of Knives would be extremely deadly at this point. No very low hit point peasants anywhere to be found, and we should be seeing perhaps a panda picked up here in any moment now, based upon what we've seen from Kay's strategy and style. Kay really likes Footmen, but Footmen tend to fall apart to Breath of Fire and Fan of Knives, and so far, whenever Lawliet has stuck to that strategy, it has worked out fairly well. And we'll see if that's going to continue to be the case, as we now see one poor Huntress looking to back off here. All right, Fountain of Health off to the south. Going to regenerate some hit points onto that Warden. The Warden, however, has to be very careful, as that those creep camps could get woken up at any moment. Meanwhile, back off over here, you can see an Archmage still wandering around. Not sure if it was a Staff of Teleportation that brought him in. And now we see Wisp being brought over as well. So far, this Tree of Life has not been able to do much. There's some detonation. I don't know why there was a delay at all. If you are gonna sacrifice that many Wisp, might as well do it early so that the Tree of Life is not in danger of getting taken out. Alright, here you go. There's a Fan of Knives. Archmage now trying to run away. It's not going to be able to run away. It's going to be forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal. And so far, the Archmage is just running back and forth. Is it going to be enough? You can see the Tree of Life down to 170 hit points. It looks as though it's going to hold steady at 70, as the Footman is not going to be able to finish it. And no, not being able to finish it off. Just needed a little bit more time there, as the Warden is just trying to catch up to that Archmage now. Gets in front, gets off a hit, could get off another hit, could get off a Fan of Knives if it wants to, but I believe it's trying to actually save up some mana for another blink. Is it going to be able to catch up to it? Still running after it, and it looks as though the Warden is going to blink, get in a little bit more damage, 2 more shots, but the Ring of Regeneration really putting a damper on the mood of the Warden, not able to take it down. That Warden unable to catch up to that Archmage, as that Archmage is just fairly fast and regenerating so many hit points because of that Ring of Regeneration and that Gauntlets of Ogre Strength. However, an army of Huntresses now on the move out across the field. We are taking Nature's Blessing, as the Tree of Life is on its way as well. Are we going to be picking up a panda? I believe so. Yes, there it is, as Lawliet may try to clear out this creep camp first before trying to put pressure on his opponent. There is, however, a number of good guard towers in position off to the side, as the Warden still wandering around here. So far, Archmage is going to go ahead and try and take down this Red Drake. The Red Drake is no longer healing off of that Fountain of Health, and that is going to be rather problematic for it. There is a purge, though, onto the from the Null Warden, and now all of a sudden this Water Elemental, who was supposed to tank all the damage from the Red Drake, is going to get taken out. Warden is still right here. Both sides still fighting. The Red Drake is still up in the air now, and this is rather kind of silly, as the Warden is just trying to engage off to the side here. Perhaps Fan of Knives could deal some extra damage, as the Warden still running around in circles. Archmage with that Ring of Regeneration really not in danger of losing any hit points anytime soon, as the Warden still trying to just buy time and perhaps take down more units here. All right, the Red Drake is getting in damage. That Warden is just suffering damage, but it is buying time for him to set up his own expansion here. You can see, oh, Scout Towers have been aggroed away, and that was rather funny. All of a sudden, this Tree of Life is going to try to root itself and realize that the Troll Trappers are off to the side here. All right, here you go. Let's go ahead and attempt to take down this creep camp here. The Panda is right there. Tree of Life is already engaging or trying to entangle that gold mine. It is going to even up the economic game pretty nicely, as the Panda, now sitting at level 2, may get to level 3 off of this creep camp here. Meanwhile, the Archmage still coming in. Dryad now coming in to get in a little bit of damage. Mountain King gets off a Stormbolt, and it looked like the Warden almost blinked away for just a second, but no, it did not, as the Warden's still trying to get away here. So far, the Red Drake down to 194 hit points, 159. It looks like it is going to fall anytime, any moment. And did it pick up the item? No, the True Shot Aura still picked up by the Archmage. Nicely done. And the Archmage now looking extremely strong, sitting at level 3, almost level 4, with True Shot Aura, giving extra damage not only to himself, but also that Water Elemental. And eventually those Mortar Teams, and maybe even Spellbreakers and Casters. Panda just shy of level 3. Meanwhile, the Moonwell, or the mine, has been set up over here at the 9 o'clock position. We are looking to see what exactly Lawliet is going to do to try and follow things up. Archmage coming in from the north. May come in. There drops a Water Elemental. Here we are. There's the engagement. There is a Abolish Magic. There's a Fan of Knives. Didn't hit the Water Elemental, unfortunately. Panda, now seen at level 3, could turn around. Gets off a Breath of Fire across multiple units. Archmage now sitting at level 4 with level 2 Brilliance Aura. Stormbolt onto an Archer. Archer gets taken down. So does a Footman in the process, as this low hit point Footman is not going to be able to make it back, especially with the slow poison and the fast-moving Huntress right behind it. So far, Ancient of War is still taking a bit of damage here. Meanwhile, Archmage now making its way back. Mountain King making its way back off to the north. And this creep camp will get finished. Dryads are still in position. And it doesn't really look like Lawliet cares about what his opponent is doing. Alright, Ogre Magi may get finished off. There's the Fan of Knives. And the Mountain King, I know, did not pick up the item. Potion of Invulnerability onto that Warden. Very nice item there. So 2 very good items for battles. Potion of Greater Healing and a Potion of Invulnerability on the Warden and the Panda, both sitting at level 3. Meanwhile, Archmage sitting at 4, Mountain King sitting at 1. Level 2 Brilliance Aura is very helpful, though, since it does give extra mana to the casters as well, allowing the casters to heal back up the rest of the army. Warden, however, not wanting to fall behind, or wanting to get ahead in the entire hero level race, going after the Ogre Lord creep camp. This could be a bit of a problem. Getting focused down right here. There's a Drunken Haze Breath of Fire, and that is so much damage over time. There it goes. Helm of Valor being left behind. I believe that's strength and agility. So that Warden is now just extremely strong. He's going to actually teleport out. Where is he going to go off to? Teleporting away, letting K just come back in. And now we finally see Rifleman joining in on this fight. So the Rifleman going to finish this off. Finish this creep camp off. We are going to set up some Moonwells off over here. We do not see the upgraded Moonwells anywhere. And we are going into now some Fairy Dragons to try and finish off the rest of this army. The Riflemen going to be very effective against those Fairy Dragons, though. Since they are unarmored, they do take additional damage piercing. They do normally have 10 armor, so very, very strange. We'll see how this is all going to work out, as the casters are going to be coming in for a bit of an engagement. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the next engagement. Or, sorry, light armor, not unarmored. Fairy Dragon now making their way over. No, the casters are now pulling themselves all the way back. Archmage is not quite ready to engage, even though the Mortar Teams are here. Riflemen are here. Militia are here for a very, very strong fight. Wisp also being brought into this fight as well, as the Wisp will be important at detonating, removing mana from the Archmage, the Mountain King, and the rest of the casters. All of these militia here are moving in for what I believe to be a tower attempt, and if these towers do get constructed, that is pretty much going to be over. Alright, here you go. Mortar Teams are all in position. There comes some Ivory Towers already. 1, 2. No additional ivory towers. Only 2 ivory towers are coming into play. There's a 3rd tower now coming in as well. And this is trying to make a bit of a choke point. There's a blink and a fan of knives across all of that back line right there. And that is absolutely amazing when you're able to blink past the back line. All right, fairy dragons in position as well. Mana flaring all of the casters. Slow heals, just getting mana burned away. So much damage, extra damage. Are we going to see some perhaps more casting as the dryads are still trying to focus down? The riflemen need to focus down the dryads or focus down the towers. The towers are going to fall relatively quickly. There's another breath of fire. Another tower going to fall right there. There it goes. And we are still sitting at this fight between these 2 armies. All right, the casters, another huge fan of knives taking down many of the riflemen there. There goes another spellbreaker, and I believe that is going to be it. The warden sitting at level 4, being able to blink past, getting the fan of knives. The panda getting at level 4 with level 2 breath of fire gives the GG. Lawliet takes the series 4-1. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.